forgot about this part because the last time I was here, we stayed in a resort. You could just shuttle over, but no. They're taking us across the lake.
Yep. Take it across the lake. We're about to turn. We'll be able to see the castle here in a second.
It's all the
There's
resorts.
All those resorts. Those look nice.
Yeah, they do. Those look expensive.
Off in the distance.
See Space Mountain and the castle. Down the castle.
Going down Main Street.
Just Opie insane.
Yes.
Hooray!
Yep, much busier than it was at Epcot or Animal Kingdom, for sure.
That's okay. This is where all the kids are hanging out.
Yes.
So we just met Tiana and Rapunzel.
Which was fun. They were very nice.
They were very sweet. It took a long time, and we tried not to take too much time to meet them.
Yes.
But now we're at Be Our Guest, this dining hall, and we're definitely going to go explore the castle. We've been given permission to explore the castle after we eat. I might even explore while we're waiting. But I don't, well, we'll go together after we eat. The West Wing is over there. And there's like some tapestries over there. It looks delicious. All right, we just heard, oh, there's the beast. There he is.
Now we are excited to introduce the Beast.
Now we're in the West Wing. I'm trying to find a good place to stand, but I'm knocking away.
Scratch the painting.
So I having a tea party.
The hat on.
Uh-huh. It's a music box. So we got a whole baguette. Ben got a wine flight.
Oh, bonjour. Yes, thank you.
Now we get soup. Thank you. That'll work.
Yes,
Thank you.
very nice.
Yep, go for it. Lovely. Thank you. It's my solo day at Universal. Macy and them just left their hotel. So I'm here wandering the streets. There's hardly anybody here yet. So I'm going to head down to Diagon Alley and get on Gringotts before the line gets long. So that's where I'm going. crowded right now. Last day in Florida. We got a Florida hello. Raining. But Intrepid Travelers aren't stopped by rain. And it should stop in about 30 minutes or so.
Hello there! I'm trying to stay calm up here. Jesse?
Edna Mall.
Lady Edna. Look, bro, baby Edna is so cute.
Obviously, I am back from Orlando. We all made it back. After Ben left, I documented, as you saw, but I just was more in the moment, I guess. And I did spend some time with Macy and her friends at all the parks where she was at. I just didn't get footage of that. A couple of pictures here and there you saw. But I felt like it'd be weird to just end abruptly. So, trying to get better about outro clips. I don't think about that in the moment, So, Hollywood Studios, woke up, it was rainy that day. I got there maybe 2 hours before the girls got there. Rock and Roller Coaster wasn't open. We knew that was the case. I rode Tower a couple of times. Went and checked out Galaxy's Edge, rode Rise, and that's really the only ride at Galaxy that I like. Motion sickness. Like I've done Star Tours before. Nope, can't do that one again. Smuggler's Run nearly did me in the last time I rode it, so I was going to pass on that. As cool as that ride is, for the aesthetic and the experience, I can't do simulations anymore. I don't think I ever was big on them. Anyway, so I did so much pin trading at Hollywood. I took a picture of a list of the places in the park where they had pin trading stations, and I pretty much made it a rotation. Every hour or every 30 minutes or so, I would, go back by one of the stations just to see if anything new had rotated. And after a while, they're like, "Oh, you again?" And I'm like, because I didn't need to be anywhere until later. I had until like 3:30 to leave, and I'd gotten there when the park opened. When it was time to go, I said bye to Macy and her friends, and I had called myself a Lyft, and I had arranged to, because I had to check out of the hotel Friday morning. I had to think about, well, I can't leave my room occupied because I have to check out, but they have a bag check, kind of like where they'll hold your bag for you at the hotel, which is great and very reasonable considering. So I got a Lyft. I was working so hard to figure out the logistics of how long it's going to take to get from here to here and then here to here, and then not knowing my way around the city. So I get to my hotel, get all of my bags. Same guy took me by the hotel, let me get my bags, and then took me to the airport. I did not anticipate how long it would take to get to the airport. I just didn't know this information somehow, and I kept getting more and more nervous watching the clock, like, okay, it's getting close to 5. All right, it's getting close to, then it was after 5, and so I think it was probably about 5:30 when I finally got to the airport. I'm like, all right, no big deal. I'm just gonna go straight to my gate. And I get in there, and there was a sign as you're walking into security that said, because of lines or whatever, be ready, have your shoes off, whatnot, and plan on about an hour and a half. That's how long security is taking right now. I'm thinking, well, that's pushing it a little. So I get in the line, I get everything ready, and it was, in fact, a very, very busy airport experience. It did take about an hour and a half to get through security. And then I had to book to my gate. Well, I had to take a monorail to my gate. And so I'm grabbing my stuff, I'm getting my shoes out, and I'm walking as fast as I can. My bag was checked. And I get to the monorail station just as the doors were closing, and I'm like, okay. So I'm just trying to not panic. It's going to be fine. Monorail gets there, and I am zooming to my gate, and I get to my gate as the last group was just finishing boarding. So the timing was right. There wasn't anybody left at the gate waiting. Everybody had already gotten on. The gate was still open, which is good. So I'm getting on there feeling like, man, I just barely made it. And then we ended up sitting there at the gate for maybe an hour or so, because I guess the plane that we were on had previously been scheduled to go somewhere else, and then they switched. They're like, okay, this plane's going to go to X&A or Kansas City instead, but the fuel they had been given was for the other trip, which wasn't enough. So I guess, it makes sense that they only fuel up the plane what they need. That makes perfect sense. Just things you don't think about, And so the pilot was very forthcoming. He's like, we've called them. They tell us they're coming, so we have to wait for them to get our fuel. So we wait. A little bit later, he's like, all right, it's me again. I've called them a few times. No one's answering. So we're just going to keep waiting. But, he's keeping us updated. You can hear in his voice that he's over it as well. So we finally get our fuel, and we get in the air. It was a great flight. We get to the airport around 11, I guess. My mother's waiting. It's late. We got up the next morning and came home, and Mace came home Sunday. Ben came home Sunday, I think, or Monday. And it was a great trip, Really good time. I definitely think that moving forward, if we do decide to make another trip to Orlando at some point, Universal's where it's at. Epcot was cool. I wouldn't mind spending more time there just because the food, but there's only so much food you can eat in a day without just feeling miserable. Anyway, that is all. Spring break trip 2024 in the books. I wonder what we'll do next year.